Trippier, Livramento, 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 Trippier, Livramento. That's what's going around in Eddie Howe's head right now, and I think that's what's going around in a lot of Newcastle fans' heads. And we're going to talk about on this video why that's not a bad problem to have necessarily, but where we are looking to find a balance, because one is very good at some stuff and the other is very good at other stuff. Stick around, Newcastle fans, if you're curious, because I know you are, for a lovely little dollop of black and white banter. Welcome back to Black White Banter, you lovely Newcastle fans. I hope all is well. Oh, it should be. You're on YouTube, so I imagine you're either sat having a shite, on your break at work pretending to work, or sat on the sofa hopefully with a can in your hand, and if you are, have one for me. Anyway, look, Eddie Howe, I'm talking about this on lots of videos, has got lots of different dilemmas this season. Not bad ones to have. It's when it comes to players, this is the squad we should have had last season and now we have it. And one that I think is a strong headache to have is our right back slot. But in terms of how Eddie Howe likes to set up and play, it's an integral one in terms of what it is doing for this Newcastle team. Tino Livramento, £35 million for a 20-year-old, I think he was when we signed him. Big money, but a very, very good talent. And such a talent that I've actually got a bet with a friend of mine, £50, that says he will be in the World Cup squad for the 2026 World Cup. Might even be starting if he can just work on some areas, which I'll touch on in a second. And then the other side of that, the ever-present Kieran Trippier. We know lots about that man. England, he's our captain, first player to sign under the Saudi leadership, scored for England in that World Cup semi-final, who could forget that, and he's banged some beautiful free kicks in it in time. Although the Kieran Trippier over the wall one's starting to go a little bit thin now. He hasn't scored a free kick for quite a while. So that chant is starting to die a death. But both great players, experienced, less, but building together, and probably building a relationship in training where Tino's learning from Trippier. And I was all for Livramento coming into this Newcastle team this season. It looked obvious. Lewis Hall, Livramento, signed them last season, integrate them in, play them this year as Trippier's career starts to wind down. But what I am seeing is a massive lack of support in the attack and final third from Livramento when he's played matches this season. Kieran Trippier has come back into the fold because we didn't get rid of him, and Kieran Trippier is looking very, very solid. Not only in his leadership, which we know he has in abundance because of his experience, but also at the other end of the pitch. And let's talk about and look at some stats comparing the two. Stats. Now, before I share all the fancy spider graphs on the table, because I'm a bit of a loser when it comes to making these videos, I spend a lot of time researching before I stand in front of this camera. Let's just talk about things baseline. Kieran Trippier is a much better attacker at the moment than Livramento, but where I think we are really worryingly lacking when Livramento starts is that lack of overlap. Jacob Murphy, for example, prides himself on being a player who will drive in and also whip a ball in, but what he needs is that fullback off his arse. To get a fullback off your arse, you need your right back to overlap you on that side. Livramento wants to come inside. He's not offering us much in that regard, and because we are not getting balls whipped into the box by him on the regular, I think we're losing something. And if we dart back to probably Livramento's best moment in a Newcastle shirt, that wavy run against Wolves when he put the ball in somehow in injury time last season, that's exactly sums up what sort of player he is. He likes to carry the ball in, he's got great feet, and that's not a bad thing to have in a player at all. It really, really is. It's quite unusual for a defender to come so inside, and that does open up space on the right, but how we like to play is overlapping fullbacks, supporting our wingers, opening up space for Anthony Gordon, opening up space for Jacob Murphy, and opening up space for Harvey Barnes. That is exactly how we set up. And for so far this season, he's disappointed me in that regard. And now I will share the attacking comparisons on the screen, and it is scarce. Sparse? Don't know. Brain fart. Livramento is in the yellow, so just look in the attacking stats how much Trippier smashes him. Absolutely. By the way, I have set these to this similar amount of minutes that they've played, because I know Trippier's obviously played a lot more football than Livramento in a Newcastle shirt, but it's just crazy. Really, really is. And I just want to go on record and say Livramento is such a young age. He will get better. He is a fantastic footballer, and he's got time to learn how this Newcastle team plays. But very similar to Harvey Barnes, very similar to Tonali, we need to integrate these players in if Eddie Howe is going to play them now. Otherwise, this Newcastle team is going to suffer. Now, defensively, Totally different story. I would even argue that Livramento is much better as of right now than Mr. Kieran Trippier at defending. I think he's fantastic. His recovery, his ability to intercept, his decision making, his one-on-one abilities when he's got someone coming at him direct. He's brilliant, and every single time I've watched Livramento from an attacking point of view, he's been fantastic, and I think that comes natural to him. That's why the big money was spent. That's why Southampton didn't want rid of him. That's why England and Lee Carsley has had a look at him. And I will now share the defensive stats on the screen, and they are very similar. So Livramento is matching up to Kieran Trippier. As you can see, in a lot of departments, he's even gone better than him on recoveries. To say that Trippier's got 10 years of experience on him as an England international, that's something to be commendable. So, as I said at the start of this video, we have got two players, one good at one good at the other. And I'll be totally honest with you, where we are right now, I think this Newcastle team needs Kieran Trippier to start. And I was not saying that at the start of the season, and I will hold my hand up and say I'm wrong on that. And I've changed my mind, because Trippier is offering so much going forward. Those balls into the box. The leadership in the back, which cannot be forgotten about. But again, this is not a bad problem to have. Eddie Howe is like loving it. He's like, God, it's like deciding whether you want a double burger in a big fancy restaurant or a triple burger, or whether to get the ribeye or whether to get the sirloin. Because Kieran Trippier looks like he's gotten over them mistakes that we saw last season. Famous last words, commentator's curse. It's not a bad decision to have, but again, very similar to the video that I'm either already or I'm about to post about Harvey Barnes. Eddie Howe needs to figure out who to play quickly, and Livramento needs to get integrated into how we set up. Otherwise, I just feel like we're lacking something down that right hand side. I think it's been clear to see in matches that Tino's played. Bournemouth away was a big one for me, where Livramento just offered nothing down the right. Trippier comes on and he steadies the ship, and then we equalise, and it's great. And we look good again. Look at Wolves away. Trippier comes on. Sorry, that always happens when I'm doing a video. Trippier comes on and we look good again. It is very, very, very... it's been very obvious this season. Sorry, that ambulance is totally thrown off my train of thought. The Trippier's come on and made a difference, and that'll probably be getting Livramento a little bit down, but I'm hoping he works on it, because we need everybody to be running on the same mindset and following the same plan for this Newcastle team to flow. And when this Newcastle team flows the way Eddie Howe likes to set us up, it works integral. But we've got problems this season that we haven't felt like we've had for a while, because players are actually free from injury, unlike last season, and the squad is starting to show its fruition to us. So anyway, Newcastle fans, get down below, let me know. Are you team Tino or are you team Kieran? Tino, Kieran, Trips, Liv, Trips, Liv, Trips, Liv. Let me know down below. Let me know what you think about this dilemma. Is it just a good one to have? Do we keep interchanging? Do we start one, bring one as a sub? Or have you got one with the future matches in mind that you want to see coming in and around this October international break? Get down below. Thank you very much for watching. The match vlogs are going to keep coming, and I shall see you on the next video. Whoever's playing, we'll support them. In Eddie Howe we trust. Oh yeah, lads!